Welcome to this short webinar about Accessibility Plus, the toolkit, and the image alt text wizard that's available within that toolkit in Moodle ISU. My name is Sasha Johnson, and with me today are Kimberly Tompkinson and Alicia Ward. Our presentation shouldn't take more than 20 minutes with a question and answer session at the end, so please feel free to post any questions you have in the chat and we will answer them at the end. So what is alt text? Basically, alt text is just short for alternative text. It is generally one or two sentences that describe the meaning and context of a digital image, such as on a web page or in an app or in Moodle ISU course materials. So screen readers such as JAWS will read the description aloud to help those who rely on assistive technology to better understand what is being shown on the screen. When it is well written, alt text can improve the user's experience and reduce ambiguity. And in a digital platform such as Moodle ISU, it's possible for students who rely on that assistive technology to miss critical information if we don't provide suitable alternative text for them. So now I'll turn it over to Alicia, who is going to talk about some best practices with alt text.
First and foremost, all images within Moodle ISU must have alt text, and it's a requirement in the Moodle ISU image properties. If an image does not convey meaning, it can be marked as decorative, which will create what's called null alt text or empty alt text. The image alt text attribute is there, but it's empty, so a screen reader will just skip it completely. The key is to ensure that none of our learners are missing out on instruction. So if an image contains information that all learners must have, it's important to include that information in ways that are accessible for all learners. Alt text should describe the content and purpose of an image in a way that is specific and concise. It's not necessary to include image of or graphic of in your alt text because screen readers already inform users that it's an image coming up. You want to consider the context of the image when creating alt text to ensure that the meaning intended is communicated clearly. And for more complex images, it can be necessary to provide more detail to communicate the information within the image. As an example, this pie chart here shows points scored for different teams. So an example of the proper alt text would be a pie chart shows points scored for teams 1 through 4 in percentages. Team 1 at 21.8%, team 2 at 32.7%, team 3 at 10.9%, and team 4 at 34.5%. If your description needs to be more than 2 to 3 sentences to adequately communicate the information, it's best to provide a longer description somewhere else. So something like a linked Google Doc would work for that. You can contact the ITRC for assistance with writing your alt text in general or for help with some of those longer description options. We're happy to help ensure that all of your learners have access to your instructional materials in Moodle.
Okay, so now that we've reviewed what alt text is and given some best practices on alt text, you may be wondering, how do I fix the alt text in my courses then? So this is where the image alt text wizard comes in. The wizard makes it easy to find and fix the alt text in your course so that it isn't a time-consuming or cumbersome process. So in order to use the image alt text wizard, you first have to add the Accessibility Plus Toolkit block and request an analysis of your course. So this analysis can take anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes, depending on how many courses have been submitted for analysis, as well as the complexity of your course. So to submit for analysis, you would select the Submit for Analysis button. And once that analysis is complete, you will see a summary report where that Accessibility Plus Toolkit block is in your course. So you would select the graph icon to access the full report and to access the wizards. So here is the full report page that appears, and you can use the Go to Wizards button to go to the wizards. From there, you would locate and select the Fix Image Alt Text tab. And when you select this tab, you'll see a list of the images in your course that need alt text, along with this input box here where you can add the alt text. So note that there are also a number of help icons here to help guide you through some of those best practices that we mentioned earlier. Once you've added appropriate alt text into those input boxes, you would select the Submit Bulk Fixing button to save your changes. Also note that there may be more than one page of images here, and it is necessary to enter the text for all of the images on one page at a time. So you can only submit bulk fixing for the images that are shown on a single page. Also, it may take a few minutes for the fixes to be reflected within the image alt text wizard. Once you select the Submit Bulk Fixing button, you'll wait while it processes, but then you will have a message appear that tells you how many fixes have been processed, and you can move to the next page.
We have more information about the Accessibility Plus Toolkit on our knowledge base, where we have Tiger Tracks articles that will showcase different aspects of the toolkit, how to use it. And the ITRC video library is another great resource. There you can find past webinar recordings, as well as other instructional videos that we put together that go through more of this Accessibility Plus information and the toolkit in its own specific pieces. And then if you would like to meet with a member of the ITRC to learn more or to request assistance, you can contact us via email at itrc@isu.edu, also by phone, or come over to the library in the basement and pay us a visit, and we'd be happy to meet with you there. We also hope that you'll join us for upcoming webinars on other useful Accessibility Plus wizards in Moodle, and these can be found on the ISU events calendar and will be announced in the Idaho State Today publication. And along with the announcement, there'll be instructions on how to register for a webinar. So the QR code that you see on the screen will allow you to access this slide that you're viewing and the active links there if you want to click on any of those to get more information or to register for another webinar. And with that, thank you for being here, and we hope that it's been helpful.